So Braylon, you've established the Braylon Edwards Foundation, whose mission statement says is dedicated to addressing and meeting the needs of underserved youth in the concentrated area of education. What motivated you to create this foundation?
Well, my mom, my father, and myself, and we wanted to give back and wanted to find a way to give back that we could really relate to and really be passionate about. The high school graduation, the high school graduation rate in Detroit at the time was the worst in the country, and then I was drafted to the Cleveland Browns, which was third worst in the country. So that became the reoccurring message, and that's where we decided we wanted to stake our claim.
Great. So you were drafted by the Cleveland Browns as the third overall pick in the 2005 NFL Draft, and then just 2 years later, you made one of the most amazing gifts to 100 Cleveland high school students to give each $10,000 for their college education, a gift worth $1 million. Tell us how you came up with this idea for your Advanced 100 program and why you wanted to help these young adults get a college education.
Attending public high school when I was in high school, I saw so many kids that had the potential, had the ability, that actually had the smarts, but they just didn't have the support at home. And a lot of those kids fell by the wayside, and a lot of them ended up dropping out of high school. You know, I had the support and I had the family, and I saw what it did for myself as well as my sisters. So, you know, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be able to help these kids that needed help, that definitely wanted to achieve a college degree, a high school diploma, but they just didn't have that extra edge or they didn't have that extra support. So that's what the initiative, the Advanced 100, that's why it was started, and that's how we came up with it.
Great. So the program you started for these high school students was more than just giving them money. You required each student to maintain a 2.5 grade average and do 15 hours of community service each year. Why was it important to you to set some standards rather than just give each student a $10,000 gift?
Well, I think more so it becomes just doing something for the sake of doing it. Hey, I did this, you know, look at me, versus, hey, let's really get after these kids. Let's challenge them to be the best they can be. Let's show them what's out there for them if they wanna work hard. So, you know, each kid received 4 college credits before they even left high school. We had them do all types of courses on the weekends in terms of charitable work, teaching them how to give back to their community before they, you know, even got to college, knowing what it feels like to give back. Also, teaching them etiquette. You know, you don't think so much about the small things in life, but they do matter. Teaching a young man how to properly shake a hand, or how to tie a tie, or teaching a lady how to, you know, wear a dress at dinner table, and, you know, what knives to use when eating a salad versus eating a steak. You know, these things get taken for granted, but there are things that my mom and other people that worked in our foundation came up with, and they work well for them.
Not just the education, but it's also the social environment that relates to that helps a person become successful.
I didn't realize how much it was a big deal until I noticed the change from when I first met these kids until when they graduated. You know, the difference in when they looked at me and they talked to me, and, you know, a handshake and the way they tied ties, and, you know, the goals that they had and the way they talked from 14 or 15 to 18, it was a huge jump.
So Braylon, tell us how the program has worked and how many students have gone on to college with your help.
Well, the program in itself has exhausted its time. We had a graduation rate of 78%, and that wasn't because, you know, we only took those 78. You know, we tried to stay in touch with the other 22, but some of them left state, which didn't take away their $10,000, but they just lost contact with us. So there's nothing we could really do at that point. But we graduated 78%. We had 14 kids graduate early. All of those kids were over 4.0 grade point averages. The highest, I can't remember the young lady's name, but she had a 4.6 grade point average overall for her 3 years. The average GPA that we had in the program was a 3.1, which, I mean, I think for 78 kids is pretty phenomenal. And we had kids go from Harvard to Cal Berkeley to just, you know, all over the spectrum. We had too many Ohio States, for my opinion, but you know, it's a great institution, and we'll take it as well.
Oh, that's great. So Braylon, are there any particular students you are most proud of in terms of what they have done with your gift?
Well, first and foremost, I'm proud of all of them. You know, not only did they take the initiative to fill out the essay and, you know, just hope for a chance to be in the program. I mean, they took the program to a new height, and it made my mom, myself, my father, and everyone that worked in our foundation made them very happy. But there are two kids that stand out to me, especially one I still keep in touch with. Michael Grundage, who goes to university, or he goes to Ohio State University. I think that's how you say it. But he's in a design school, and the design school that he's in, I don't think they had ever taken, or I don't think they had ever accepted a freshman into the design school. Usually students get accepted after their sophomore season. So for him to get accepted as a freshman was amazing. And he's out in L.A. freelancing. Every time I talk to him, he's all over the country trying to just meet people, shake the right hands, and get his skills up and learn under people. So I'm very proud of the continuing work that he's doing throughout the foundation. Also, there was a young kid, William, who told me when he was 14 that he was going to go to Harvard. And I definitely hoped that for him, wished that for him. But at 18, he fulfilled that, and he received a full scholarship to the University of Harvard. So he said he was going to do it, and he did it. So, it definitely is something to say about himself and his family.
Amazing. All right. Your commitment to education has not been limited to Cleveland. You also have given a gift of $500,000 for an endowment to the University of Michigan, your alma mater, for football scholarships. Why was making this gift so important to you?
Well, that's twofold. Michigan gave me the chance to want to attend school and first and foremost, receive an education. Education is priceless. And so to be able to be on that stage and to be around the kids, Michigan University it's an esteemed program. You meet so many people in different realms of life that have gone to that university, that are doing so well for themselves and so educated. So that was definitely a blessing. Two, to be able to be on that stage, on that football stage. University of Michigan has always been one of the prominent schools for football. You look back, we have the most wins in NCAA history. We have the highest win percentage in NCAA history. So, to be in that realm on both regards, football and academics, I definitely felt as though I should give back. And I actually gave back academics as well with two $10,000 scholarships per year as well. So it was a little bit academics as well as athletics.
That's great. Braylon, so often young people are attracted, to the flash of success in professional sports, but you have focused on the importance of a good education. You once said, the fundamentals of success can only be achieved through a quality education. How did you come to understand this important truth about life?
Well, my stepfather is very important in that. My stepfather is a graduate of Western Michigan University. He has his PhD from Wayne State University, and he was in the teaching field for 20 years. He's since then retired, but he just really embedded in myself as well as my sister what the importance of education was, what the education would allow you to do later on in life. Education would pretty much allow you to achieve all things possible and definitely be able to help out, whoever you want to help out, whatever walks and regards of life. So, hearing that, I met my stepfather when I was 4 years old, so I've definitely known him my whole life, and he was very influential in that and helping our foundation with that aspect of it, the education. How could we help? What things do you see in your school that you wish were better, that if you had someone helping? So stepfather was very influential in that, Charles Plater.
Great. During your 4 years at the University of Michigan, what parts of your education had the most impact on you, and what did you gain that will help you the most in your post-NFL career?
Well, when I was at Michigan, I rarely went to class. No, I'm just joking. I'm just messing with you. I think I like the different walks of life, because I think, you have classes and seminars. Sometimes you have smaller classes, but I just like being around the different walks of life and ethnicities. You got a different feel and sense from perspective, what their perspective was, what my perspective was, and we were able to talk it out and, see what the difference, see if there was. But that was a cool thing to me about going to Michigan. Education was, it was what it was. It was a great education. I was able to take notes and learn this and that. But I just pretty much like being in classroom with, like I said, different walks of life. I thought that was very cool, coming from an inner city high school, where it was pretty much predominantly black. Being around everybody and learning like a world environment was pretty cool for me.
That's part of the college experience of learning the multicultural society in which we live. And what you're saying is the college experience itself help you become a better adult.
Exactly. You know, when you're just seeing things on TV, you don't know. You're reading, and you can't always believe what you read or what you see sometimes. But just being in college, it was fun. You learn that you're actually a lot alike in a lot of ways and different in some. So I mean, that to me was the best part of college, and that was the best experience I had.
Great. In addition to the charitable work of your foundation, you have also challenged young people to get involved in their communities. You challenged students at 20 Cleveland schools to collect cans of food for the Cleveland Food Bank in the Holiday Great Exchange citywide canned food drive. Why was it so important for you to get students involved in this community food drive?
Well, being from Detroit, we have a place called Focus Hope. Focus Hope is they provide for the needy as well as the homeless. Mary Ann Jositis, who's the founder and the CEO of the Focus Hope, is a nonprofit, and it basically is just giving back to people that need it. We did a couple deals with her in terms of some food drives and raising canned goods. And one summer it was extremely hot in Detroit, so we provided fans for people. But she just taught myself and my mom and my friends just a lot about what it means to give back at a young age. I mean, you know, we were only 22, 23, 24, so we're learning through her. And so when we had the advanced program, we said, you know, let's get these guys to give back as well. Let's teach these kids how to give back as well. And so we were able to partner up with the Salvation Army in Cleveland. We were able to partner up with the Salvation Army as well as Focus Hope in Detroit and just raise can drives for everything. Because a little goes a long way. And people don't realize how small one can of food is. One can of food can provide for a family, you know, or for a day or so. So, you know, we started small, and you know, each year it got a little bit bigger. And I think one class one year raised upwards of 800 pounds. I want to say I may be misquoting, but it was something in a ridiculous number, and they did a heck of a job, and I was proud of those kids as well.
Great. You have a nice play on words as part of your charitable work. Receiving means giving. Why is giving back so important to you?
Because a lot of people gave me things along the way to help me get to this point. You know, I didn't get to the NFL by myself. You know, I was giving people's time, which is, you know, the most important and precious commodity that there is, you know, far exceeding money, gold, and silver. But I was giving people's time, people's efforts, you know, people's experiences, people's stories, and just sharing in me and helping me, giving me that time and that ability and that knowledge. And I was able to take that and go to college, and from college go to the NFL, and go from the NFL to being able to provide charitably to these different cities. So that's the thing for myself and my mom. You know, my mom beats it into me. You know, she's always reminding me when she thinks I may have, you know, forgotten. But it's giving. People don't realize how much giving is important. You know, when you leave the game of football or basketball or, you know, the corporate world, you know, IBM, Microsoft, when you leave these worlds, it's not about the money you've made. You know, it's about the friendships and the things you give. So I want my legacy to be a lot more than, you know, he caught this many touchdowns. I want it to be, you know, he was a great guy and he allowed people to share in what he did.
That's great. That's great. Not only have you reached out to help the kids in Cleveland where you played most of your career, but you also have not forgotten the kids in Detroit. One of the things you did in Detroit was to create a program called Helmets for High Schools to provide 400 top-of-the-line helmets to improve the safety of high school football players. Why was this so important to you to give back to the kids in your hometown of Detroit?
Well, Detroit is basically where I'm from, born and raised. It's the city that I love and the city that I will always claim and represent. One of the former high school football coaches in Detroit was talking to my dad about the poor quality of helmets in the NFL, or in high school football, in PSL. And, you know, we're going through this concussion thing in the NFL now, and it started, you know, started when football first started, but it's really getting note as of the last couple of years. And so this is something that we want to help. We said, hey, you know, we got the same issues in the NFL, and our helmets are much, much better quality than you guys. So let's see if we can partner with somebody. You know, there are different helmet brands out there, and Shutt was the first one to respond back and say, we'll gladly help you. So we did that initiative, and it raised helmets, or we provided helmets for every team in the PSL. So not just my former high school and my dad's former high school, but every team in the public school league received helmets that year. So trying to prevent those concussions and keep them to a minimum.
That's amazing. On your website for your Braylon Edwards Foundation, you have a quote from an unknown source. quote, "It is in our service to others that we achieve true greatness," unquote. Who influenced you the most in shaping the community values you hold so dear?
I would have to go with my mom, my dad, and my stepdad, and my stepmom as well. I'm blessed to have 4 parents and 4 graduates of high school as well as college. So they're just always, talking about giving back and helping and this, that. And so it's just growing up, that was in my nature. Growing up, that was in my nature. That's what I saw. And just being on different sports outlets or social group outlets and seeing the differences between a household with 2 parents and then a household with 1 parent, or a household where the parents never there, or a household where it's a guardian or grandmother. Grandmother doesn't have the type of energy that mother or father will have. So I've always wanted to be able to help, and I think that's what our motto, our credo, and the initiatives that we do and that we'll continue to do as long as we can. It stems from that. In my heart, it stems from being able to see the difference and wanting to help.
That's great. So why is it important for NFL players like yourself to get involved in making a difference in their communities?
I think the best thing about us doing it, NFL, the NBAs, athletes, actors, people look up, the kids look up to, is a teacher can sit there until they're blue in the face and tell you, hey, if you study this, if you do this the right way, if you do this, you'll be able to go to college, and if you do it right in college, you'll be able to go on to, riches and fame and glory and whatever you want. But kids like, this guy gets paid to do that, or I don't want to hear that. I don't like this person anyway. Most kids don't like teachers. But the people that they see on TV that they hold dearest are athletes, they're actors, they're entertainers, they're musicians. And so when you get those guys doing it, now you have a kid that'll believe it. Is that right or wrong? Yeah, who's to say? But that's why, as an athlete or as an entertainer, it's so much more important for us to be able to give back, start foundations, work in the community, go speak at schools when you have the time, because they hold what we say very dearly to heart. And so, what's wrong with donating a little bit of time to helping one person, if it is, but that one person can turn around and help somebody else.
That's a great perspective. Couple of football questions. You've now played for 4 teams: the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, the San Francisco 49ers, and this year the Seattle Seahawks. What's the most difficult challenge you face in moving on to a new team?
Just building relationships. Over time you'll build relationships, and there'll be good relationships, and then you kind of have to start over. Luckily, the league is overlapping, so you'll end up running into somebody else that a coach, a trainer, some players, and there's a respect factor, but it's just those relationships. I was in Cleveland for basically 5 years, and then I have to just up and one day leave and go to New York. Oh man, what's this going to be like? Are they going to welcome me? Is it going to be good? Are they going to be mad that I'm taking somebody else's job? And then you develop 2 years of relationships there. Okay, cool. Now it's time to do it again in San Francisco. So that's the biggest thing. And hopefully this stint with Seattle, which has so far been great. I like Pete Carroll a lot. I like his message. I like his coaching style. And the players on the team are young and hungry. And these guys, they work hard every day. So hopefully this situation sticks. But that's just the difference. And from team to team is more so just the relationships that you lose, and then trying to gain new ones and don't know how it's going to go.
Okay, great. You had some serious injuries in your football career. What's the biggest challenge in coming back from a major injury?
Just depending on the injury. The more serious the injury, the more it wavers on the mental aspect. And as most people know, the mental is the strongest part there is. Football is 5% physical and 95% mental. Getting through a season, training yourself, dealing with family issues if you have them, injuries. So the big thing with injury is, am I going to be 100%? Am I going to make it back on time? Okay, I got hurt. I see they drafted another guy in my position, a young guy. Is he here to replace me? How is this going to work? Am I starting to look older to them? So I think that's what the biggest thing about injury is. So many things start to play on your mind. Your mind starts playing tricks on you. So you just really got to tell yourself, go after it every day. I just got to go after it every day. See whatever is injured, be it the ankle, be it the knee, be it the elbow, be it the shoulder. Protect that first. But you just got to go after it and let everything else take care of itself, which is easier said than done.
Mm-hmm. In competing with another star veteran like yourself, Terrell Owens, for the roster spot you eventually won, how did you prepare yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally for this challenge?
I think the biggest thing with him and I is I didn't prepare as I was preparing to go against T.O. And that's why I was telling my mom one day. I was laughing. She kind of got excited the way I said it. I wasn't going against T.O. every day. It wasn't Braylon versus T.O. It was me versus the other wide receivers. Like, I'm not just trying to get a spot on the team. Like, I came out here to be the guy. I came out here to be the guy that the Seahawks could trust as being their number one receiver. So I think in having that mindset, it had me looking far past Terrell Owens, who's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. I mean, I liked his game a lot when I was in high school, and in college I respected him, admired him, still do. But it was just bigger than that. It wasn't about Terrell Owens. It's about myself and what I want to do for the Seahawks.
As you've grown older as an athlete, how has your workout and preparation regimen changed to accommodate your changing needs? And what advice would you give younger players in the league for maintaining a long and productive football career?
In terms of advice, I would say, one, take care of your body. Your body is your temple. And I've been told that forever, and I didn't always listen. I'm the biggest fast food eater there is that plays wide receiver. But over time, I think I've developed a better eating habits, better eating pattern. I even put myself on a diet in the last year or so, which a lot of people are seeming to like. But you just got to take care of your body. You got to make sure you get massages. Massages keep your muscles loose. It makes sure you can play at that high level, because every little thing you do affects your body's adjustment pattern. So if I was sitting like this for 2 hours watching TV, well, now my body is naturally out of line because I've allowed my spine to be one way on a bend angle. When I get hit, I fall down. These things happen. You don't realize that until you start getting older. You're 22, you can roll out the bed and go practice. You're 29, 30, 31, 33, it's like, okay, I got to stretch, can make sure I'm eating the right things, I'm getting my massages, I'm putting the water back in my body that I'm losing in practice. I mean, I'm starting to pay attention to these things. I'm eating food and looking at calories now. So I think the older you get, you start to pay attention. And just tell young guys, start early. I mean, you don't have to become a guru at 22, but just start paying attention so that when you hit 29, it's easier to transition.
Mm-hmm. Your new coach, Pete Carroll, praised your football skills as a big physical receiver that the Seahawks need for their pass-oriented offense. What are you looking forward to the most with your first season with the Seahawks?
I'm looking to have fun. I think every season you put some type of expectation on it, especially I'm asked that question every year, Braylon, what are you looking for this year? Well, I'm just looking to have fun. I feel like I've worked so hard to get back to this point this past off season, through injuries and through disbelief and what have you. So to have an opportunity and to definitely have a great opportunity to really contribute and help this team, I'm just looking to go out there and have fun. I think if I go out there and do that, I'll know my game plan, I'll study my game plan, I'll have fun, and I'll be able to do the best that I can as a player to represent the Seattle Seahawks as well as Braylon Edwards and last name.
Thanks for the opportunity to sit down and talk. It's been great.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.